Good morning. Let's wake up and get locked in. Morning. How's everyone doing? I should do that. 100 likes, and I won't get on until 100 likes. All right. So, good morning, guys. Thursday, September 1st, new month, new opportunities, fresh start. I'm wrapping up. I'm going to get the TradeZella out for my August month today on my socials. It was a good month. It was middle of the month was sort of crap, and then the last 2 weeks were good. So yesterday I traded one thing. I traded Tesla puts off of 280. That's something we talked about here in the stream, and I called it. I said, that's it. End of the month. All good. Good month. Let's end it there. Let's end it on a small green note. And let's just move on to a new month, right? So that was sort of my mindset yesterday. And today we got a fresh start. So September 1st, we are definitely, we saw that downside overnight in the futures market. Just sort of continuation of this weak market. We got some Nvidia news. AMD moved off it. All the chip stocks moved off of it. So definitely some downside. Do I still buy Nvidia Tesla? Absolutely. I'm buying more of it today. Absolutely. If you think Nvidia's not going to be a company in 10 years because of some China nonsense, This is when you guys want to, if people want to panic sell their shares, I'll be happy to take them. Give them to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate the discount. So very nice. You got some downside overnight. A little bit of, it seemed sort of like panic type of selling in the futures market. A lot of downside very quick. And where did we come back down to? We came back down to those exact levels that we've been talking about for the last week here in the stream. The June and July highs. We tested them overnight on both the ES and the Nasdaq. So we are right there. And that is why the title of this live stream is Critical Levels. It's critical day. Today's a critical day. You have to hold these levels. You don't hold these levels, guys, there's definitely more downside. So big levels today on the Nasdaq and the ES. It's around this 12,200, around this 30, 39.20, 39.10 area on the ES. These are major levels on the overall market. This is where I said, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but this is sort of what I say. When the market is starting to sell off, it needs to come back down to major levels. It's not going to stop selling until it finds a demand zone, a serious demand level. So today could be where this bleed starts to slow. I don't think today you get some type of big rally, but I think this could be an area that the bleed starts to slow for a few reasons, right? First reason is it's a big level. Second reason is the risk to reward for short sellers is starting to get smaller and smaller, right? If you shorted from, let's say you shorted from the 200 SMA back, a couple weeks ago, or let's say you shorted on Monday of this week, this is where you would start to take profits off of as a short seller. This is a area of support where you would say, okay, I just got a nice trade. It's hitting into some demand. This is probably where I should start to take some profits. So it's a very important level. It's going to be a psychological level. It's going to be a major technical point. That doesn't mean that the selling stops. I'm just pointing out the levels. This is definitely an important area. So let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff today. Definitely, sort of familiarize ourselves with some of the levels on the market, where we're testing, etc., and prepare for the day as we always do. So futures, economic earnings calendar. On the economic side of things, you have jobless claims today, and you have some other events as well. So 8:30 this morning, jobless claims will be live here for that. Productivity revisions, unit labor cost revisions. Intraday, we have U.S. manufacturing PMI at 9:45. We have ISM manufacturing index, construction spending. Then we have a Fed president speaking. So we have some stuff here on today on the economic side. Tomorrow we have our normal non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, etc. So we'll see what happens at 8:30. We'll see what the reaction is to this right here. See if there's anything that comes on or sort of reacts, if the market reacts to that. Today on the earnings side of things, not much. We have Lululemon, which is a long-term name for me. So we'll see what happens there. Besides that, nothing too influential here, guys. 1-800-Flowers. 1-800-Flowers today. Uh-oh. This might be a good day. You know 1-800-Flowers is my favorite stock. Chase Turner, welcome. Welcome. I should say welcome to the Champions Club, but I'm not cool like Doc. Welcome to the Champions Club. All right. So, Tesla, obviously, it's always going to be the first one we look at. I want to make sure we always are aware of Tesla levels, so we'll do that. Amazon came back to that 125 level we've been talking about. So we are back at 125. Let's watch this level. Apple filled the gap and is back to a key level. So we're going to look at Apple, of course. Nvidia, big level. Crazy level for Nvidia. Crazy overnight session for Nvidia. Downside off of some news that they are, I don't know exactly what it was. What, are they not allowed to ship their stuff to China? They're not allowed to sell their semiconductors to China. Something along those lines. So obviously, downside off that. Is it overreaction, or is it going to continue? That's what we have to. Answer today. Meta is green this pre-market. I think it is the only tech stock that is green pre-market, and it's showing that demand at the channel low is holding up pretty well. So this is pretty interesting to me. Meta being green in the pre-market off of that demand zone down below at that channel low, definitely a watch for me today. Google and Shop are also at those channel lows, must watches for me today. XLE pulling back, big retest level, and then XLV, that healthcare sector, has broken down. So healthcare flushed under a key level, so it did not hold that demand that we talked about. We're going to obviously sprinkle in some more names here today, get some recommendations from you guys later in the stream. So let's do it, guys. Let's prepare for today. Let's see what we're working with. Daily chart on the Nasdaq, on the ES. Let's start there. Here's the Nasdaq, guys. And where have we talked about that this market needed to come back down to? We were always talking about these previous June, July levels. Previous June rejection, July rejection, July support, and we are right back to it today. This is always where the market needed to come back to. It's not going to hold at random spots. It's not going to hold here. It's not going to hold here. It's not going to just hold in midair. It needs to come back down to previous demand, and that is where we have come back down to. We've came back down to it in the after-hour session, so it is going to be very interesting to see what the intraday looks like. This is an area where if you are a short seller or any type of seller that trades off technical levels would understand that their risk to reward is starting to slow down, right? If I was short selling here, I would be in my mind saying, okay, there's a previous hold at this level. This might be where I should start to scale out. This might be where I should start to take profits because this is a potential level of demand. So that is sort of what I'm looking at today. That's why I think these technical levels are important because there's going to be a lot of decisions being made at these levels. 4-hour chart, you can see, guys, right? Previous rejection, previous rejection, previous rejection into a support. And you are right back at it today. So what happens here? This is why today is a critical day. Do we hold here? Do we slow the bleed? If we break this, this is going to continue, right? If we break this here, this is a major level to break. It's a multi-month support, multi-month rejection support level. It's really important. Let's just say that. So if we break that, you got 12,000 probably at the minimum. And then, if you even get under 12,000, could you even be looking at these lows here? Possibly at 11.4. That's going to take, some serious selling. We're going to have to break these highs here. We're going to have to break these previous rejections, and we're going to have to break this support. Does it happen today, or do we see some type of slowdown in selling today? If there was ever a day, right? And please don't take this as a bias, guys. I don't want to hear arguments about bulls and bears because that's not what this is about. This is strictly about technical levels. If there was ever a day for the selling to slow down, it would be here today. It has to be here today, right? If it's not here today, it's probably not going to happen. So this has to be the day that the selling slows. If you focus on technical analysis, rejection, 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 support, it has to happen here today. So definitely a big day for the markets, definitely a big level for the markets. It's going to be, that middle of the seesaw is right here. So that's that. If we go to the hourly chart, we can see we are starting to see some reaction here. You can see we're starting to see some reaction back above this 160, back above this 150 level. You're starting to get a push to the upside. However, let's just watch the previous lows, right? That's what we have had to watch all week. Let's continue to watch it, right? So you can see you have these previous lows here. You have these previous lows here. You have to watch these levels around this 12,270, 12,300, and then around the 12,400. Continue to watch the previous lows. Make sure you're aware of where these come in. Because if you're below a previous low, right, you could find a resistance. So if you push up to this 12,270 today, you could reject it. If you push higher, maybe you push higher into the 12.4, you could reject it. So still watch your levels. This is a very big technical day. Make sure you know your levels. I would watch these previous lows here around this 12,270, 12,300. I would watch the previous lows around this 12.4, 12,450. Previous lows into a rejection. Previous lows, we flush through it. If you bounce back into this level, this could be where you start to reject today. So just make sure you're aware of these levels. This is the hourly chart, so watch the previous lows on the hourly chart. And then, of course, on the 4-hour, you're watching the June and July highs, previous rejection, previous rejection, previous rejection, into support. You're back at it again. Okay? That's big. ES, same exact thing, guys. Same exact thing on the ES. So we look at this 4-hour chart. What are we looking at? We are looking at previous rejection, previous rejection, previous rejection into support, all right here at this 39.20. And where did we pull back to? 39.20 again. So 39.20, 3900 is the zone that I think has to hold here on the markets. If it does not, things are going to continue to get ugly. So 3900 to 39.20, this is a huge level on the ES. Again, if there was ever a time for the market to slow its bleeding, it has to happen here at this technical level. If I go to the hourly chart, here's what you should be watching on the hourly chart. You're watching the previous lows. Okay? So you're watching these lows here. You're watching these lows here. You're watching to see if we reject at the 4,010, 4,000 level. And then you're watching to see if we reject at the previous lows around 39.70. Yep, totally agree, Mr. TNT. Moment of truth. It's a D-Day. This is it. So 39.20, you can see, look at that little curl off of it. That has to hold. If you push, watch for a rejection at 39.70. If you push, watch for a rejection of 4,000 area. If you do not hold here and you flush through this level, it's going to be short selling. It's going to be puts, definitely. So 39.20, 3900, huge area here. You have to hold that. You did cover your shorts in the strength yesterday, not being greedy. KC, see, I think that's going to be a lot of the mindset of shorts, to be honest. So I agree with you there. I mean, I think that's a good sell. I think you did the right thing, right, KC? I think any short seller would start to say, okay, any short seller that's not not greedy, would start to be like, okay, let's take some off here, right? So 39.70, 4,000, those are your lows to watch. 39.20 is a must hold level today, guys. So big time level to watch. All right, let's go Dow. Where's the Dow at? Should be at the exact same levels. Let's see. Let me delete some of this. All right. Where are we at? So Dow's a little bit choppier in here. I'm trying to get a good level for us. You can see, if you look to the left here, it's not really a strict level. I mean, it's sort of all, so you got these previous lows here. You got this previous rejection here. I would say it's all within here. Right around this 31.3, 31.4, right in this general area. You can see we had the previous lows. Boom, boom. Previous rejections right there. This pop went a little bit further than expected, but I would say it's right here around this 31.3, 31.4 on the Dow. Right there, previous lows, previous rejection. I would say you're right back at it again on the Dow as well. So same story there. Russell. Short sellers to cover it could solar, but sometimes it's not, sometimes it doesn't hold up, right? Sometimes short squeezes, sometimes if the market bounces off short covering, it just, it comes right back down. So, right, you got to be careful of that. Here's the Russell. The Russell is back at this previous 1840, 1850 level. You guys remember this level? This is where we previously broke out from. When the Russell had that big move, that outperformance, we're right back in that zone. So previous rejection into support, previous rejection into support. You're right back in that zone on the Russell as well. All right. I think the Russell should underperform regardless, guys. I'm not a big fan of small caps. I think small caps are not going to be it's not going to be the market that holds this market up. Small caps are the ones that are under the most pressure. And, this push on the Russell, I think, could be the underperformer. So just be careful trying to, trade the Russell off a hold here. All right, guys. So Nasdaq, ES, I mean, this is critical. These are critical technical levels today. Make sure to watch them. 39.20, 3900 on the ES. And then on the Nasdaq, 12.160, 12.200. I appreciate that, Fitzing. All right, guys. That's what we're looking at. Let's continue. Tesla. So I think Tesla should move lower, but of course you're gonna require another leg lower on the market for that to happen. So obviously we've been watching this 3,800 level, or I'm sorry, 280 level. So we've been watching that 280 level. We got the very nice rejection. So this is my play yesterday. It was just, it was a textbook trade. It was just beautiful. So we were talking about 280 yesterday in the pre-market live stream, talking about the previous lows at 280. You guys saw we were under it in the pre-market yesterday. I was saying if Tesla retests 280, I want to play a put off of it. I want to play the rejection. So I did exactly that. We rejected 280. I played the put. Very nice trade. 4-hour chart. I think Tesla should come back down to this 260 area, personally. Right around here. 261, 255, this zone here. That's where I think Tesla should come back down to. But if the market holds these levels, Tesla may not get down here. So if you see the Nasdaq ES sort of maintain today these levels, I don't expect Tesla to drop 6%. So it's going to be interesting on Tesla. That is definitely an area where I'd feel more comfortable to go long, down here at 256, 260, because of these previous rejections. I'd rather go long here. You still have a little bit of, black hole here, sort of no man's land down below where we're at right now. I guess you could say it's trying to hold these previous lows right there from, this is back in July. So around this 269, 270 level could be where that support steps in. So I would watch 270. But if the market goes down more, if the market continues lower, I would say 260 right in this general area, right? What was my entry on Tesla yesterday? You go to my Twitter. Here, I'll pull it up right now for everyone. Why don't we just do it real quick? We'll go over my entry real quick, just 2 minutes. All right, so here's my Twitter. Here's my trade on Tesla yesterday. Got in at 931, got out at 934, 935, 937. So I scaled out. I got 5 contracts at 931, scaled out 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes later. So 931 and 40 seconds was my entry. If we go to the 1 minute chart, here it is. So I got in on this, basically the push of this candle. I was looking for, I started to see this slip lower, got in here with the stop over 280, and then got, obviously I had a little bit of drawdown there, but I was on the chat saying, as long as this is under 280, I am not getting out of this trade. So you got to push into 280. You quickly rejected it, and I just scaled out on this push. So basically, I just played it because it rejected 280, and I trusted my trade setup, right? That's all you can do. The better trade was actually the entry right there. That was the better trade. Back around 9:50, 10 o'clock, that's the better trade. I don't stop out unless it's seriously over a level, guys. It's a mental stop for me. So even if this went up to like 280.50, even if it went up to like 280.70, I wouldn't have stopped out. I keep my stops mental. I have to watch the price action. All right, that's Tesla, guys. Let's continue. Amazon. So Amazon came right back down to that 125 level that we've been talking about, right? And it's not quite the gap fill. It's not quite the gap fill because the gap fill is back towards this 122, 123. But you have to be aware of the potential of a hold at this previous high. So 125, you can see right here, this previous high. You have to be aware of that level here on Amazon. So you can see we're trying to hold it a little bit today. I think if you break 125 today on Amazon, you will be able to trade it, to the downside further. So I would watch 125. That's your major level today on Amazon, guys. If you break 125, you might be able to get the gap fill back towards around 122. If you hold 125, just understand why. It's because you are holding this previous high. If we go to the 30-minute chart, what would I be looking for? Like every other stock today, I would be looking for a retest of the previous lows. If this market stays weak, all you're looking for is a retest of previous lows, right? If the market stays weak, if Amazon pushes into this 127, if you see something like this and you start to reject here, then you can probably trade it back to the downside. So on every stock that you guys are analyzing today, intraday, as you start your trading day, the first thing that should be on your screen is what is the previous day low? Where is the previous day low? We are trading under it. I'm almost certain on every stock you're looking at, besides maybe Meta. If you are trading below the previous day low, that level should be on your chart no matter what, because that is where the most likely rejection could come in. If it doesn't, then things are sort of changing, right? If you start to get over previous day lows, if you start to break above them, if you start to hold above them, then that is where you get those little clues from the price action, guys, as to what this market could be doing. If stocks are rejecting previous day lows, then you know it is still weak, right? If stocks are breaking above previous day lows, if stocks are pushing into the previous day highs, you know there's a change here. So you have to watch that. So previous day lows on Amazon, that's what I'd watch, 127. If you break 125, I'd look for more downside. Apple, huge level on Apple here. Apple filled the gap. You guys can see right here, the gap has been filled on Apple. So congrats to you guys who caught that. Where is Apple trading at today? If we go to the 4-hour chart, this is where Apple is trading. Apple is trading right at the previous rejection point, the previous support, right? You guys can see right here, we had a break, we had a retest, and a push to the upside on Apple off this 155, 156 level. So you can see that in the past, we've held this level and bounced off of it. In the past, we've rejected this level. So now, what do? You draw a zone there, right? A lot of people ask me, how do you draw these zones? How do you do it? What do you do? All I'm looking for, guys, is previous levels that have turned into support, previous levels that were rejections. It's basically just levels of importance. So you've rejected here, and you've also found support here. So I'm going to draw a zone there. Now, if I see the market come back to that level, I need to watch how we react to that area. You can see we've pulled back to it. We go to the 5-minute chart. Look at what Apple did in the futures or the after hours last night. Look at where Apple held. I mean, it literally tapped it and found support. So now, what are you looking at? You're looking to see, do we hold this level intraday? If not, previous day lows, basically right there. That's the close of yesterday. Then you watch maybe these previous day lows, right? So you're just watching the lows of the previous days. So Apple, 155, 155.50, 4-hour chart. You can see this is where we held previously. Does it hold again today? Big watch there on Apple. Nvidia. So this is the name in everyone's mind today, right? Nvidia shares are trading lower after company said its China sales are being restricted by the U.S. government. So first of all, I need to know a little bit more about how large of a percent their China sales are to their overall company. That is something I do not have on hand. That is something that I would like to know. So that is something I'll definitely be looking up today. I'm not sure just yet. If anyone knows, feel free to drop it in the chat. Okay, so Nvidia. Previous lows, 140.50, right? We're right back at it, right? We're right back at it. 140.50, 140.50. So that is pretty big, right? If we go to, let's go to the daily chart. Here's the daily chart. 140.50 is right here, right? That's that low. That's the low of this year. So we are trading at the low of 2022 for Nvidia. So what happens there? That's going to be the big thing to watch. Here's the weekly chart. If we zoom out a little bit, if we break 140, right? If we break this 140 level, we are probably coming back to that 120. If you break the 140 on Nvidia, the next level to be watching is the 120. Okay? That's just between 140 and 120, it's just a bunch of chop. I would expect this to be the level that's tested if you flush through this 140 level. Here on the hourly chart, we can go ahead and see if we get more time. we can see the importance of this level, right? Company expects to lose $400 million in potential sales to China in the current quarter after previously forecasting revenue of $5.9 billion. Okay, so $400 million out of $5.9 billion for next quarter. All right, so right there, guys, that's it. I mean, that's all I have for you. Huge technical level. That's all it comes down to. All you should be watching today is, does Nvidia hold 140.55? Does Nvidia hold the 140 level? So that's big. That is going to be what everyone is watching today. Nvidia is finding some support off that level. Is this Nvidia is this a reactionary overreaction type move? Does this continue? That is not something I can answer for you guys in today's live stream. But what we can do is know our level. Know that if we break this low, things could get more serious. If we hold it, could this be where Nvidia tries to slow the bleed? So 140.50, previous lows, yesterday lows before the meltdown was around this 149, 150 level. Okay? So that is what I would be watching. That is what I would be watching today. 140.50, 150. How does Nvidia price action look today? That's the most important. We got jobless claims in 40 seconds. Let's take a little break. Maybe press the like button. It's always appreciated. Here's the Nasdaq. Let's see if there's any reaction to it. Pull up the chat. And see if we get anything on jobless claims here. All right. Take a little break. What do we got? 10 seconds. Like button is looking real good right now. I'll tell you that. All right. Wait for it. A little bit of volatility there. Don't have the numbers yet. Okay, went from red to green. $232. What was the expected? There it is. Non-farm productivity revised negative 4.1 versus negative 4.6. Unit labor cost 10.2 versus 10.8. Non-farm productivity, it's negative 7.4. So personally, as of right now, I'm assuming that better jobs is bad for the market, right? If we have better jobs numbers, it's bad for the market because that means that Jerome Powell can get more aggressive. That means the Fed can get more aggressive. So better jobs is bad for the market. That's sort of what it is right now, it seems. Jobless claims down 5,000. So that's sort of how I think the market has sort of reacted to this type of these job reports, these job news type events. Is better jobs bad for the market? Means people are maybe in better situations. Maybe it lets the Federal Reserve be able to get more aggressive. That's sort of how I think the market has read these types of events. So I don't really expect there to be massive movement off a jobless claims number. It's typically not that way. We typically do not see massive movement off jobless claims. So, I mean, you're seeing a little up and down, but nothing that's too major right now. So, yeah. It's pretty much a non-event. It has been a non-event for some time now, the jobless claims. So, a little bit of up, a little bit of down. Basically, net is nothing. Yeah. You've been subscribed for 1 year today. Wow, Adam, thank you. Nvidia spike. Did it actually spike or did it go up 10 cents? Nah, it's a okay. I get what you're looking at, but that's a glitched candle. Someone fat fingered a buy at 151. Bad for them. All right, now Nasdaq's coming down a little bit. So we'll see what happens here, guys. Not much reaction, though, on overall on jobless claims here. Usually you don't see much off of it. So pretty much a non-event. All right, just keep me updated if you see anything. All right, Meta. So Meta is actually green in the pre-market. It is the only, if I go to my watch list over here, the green stocks on your watch list here is SQQQ, Meta, Baidu, Google, Disney, Citibank. And I don't even know why I still have this on my watch list. So SQQQ, Meta, Baidu, Google, Disney, Citibank are the 6 green stocks for my watch list today. Meta is one of them. So why do I think this is interesting? Because you can just see this demand right down below on Meta, and I think it's having an influence on this stock right now. I really do. I think there's a lot of people that are willing to pick up some shares down here, or at least find some strength down here. So you got Meta at the channel low. It's tested this level 5 times. This is the 5th attempt. It's green in the pre-market. It's bounced off this yesterday. It's holding some of its move today. I'm not ready to go long on this, obviously, because the overall market, which might mean I miss out on it. Maybe you have to have a little bit more, you have to be a little bit more risky than I do to catch something like this. Because, yes, Meta is holding the demand. On the flip side, the chart is a little bit questionable on the Nasdaq ES. But if you want to take the shot where you think the Nasdaq ES hold these June, July levels, if they do, then Meta will push higher, right? That's basically the trade you take here. The trade you take here, you have to take the risk that you think the Nasdaq ES maintain these June, July levels. If they do, then Meta will push to the upside, right? That's basically the trade you have to take to catch Meta here. There's really no way around it. Whether you think that's a stupid trade, whether you think that's a good trade, whether that is within your risk tolerance, whether that's outside of your risk tolerance, there's no other way around it. You have to take it because you have to bet that the Nasdaq and ES are going to hold these levels. If they do, Meta will push higher. If they don't, Meta will not push higher. So that is basically what you have to do here, and that is up to you as a trader to decide whether that's a good or bad trade. I'm not here to decide that for you. That's what you have to decide for yourself. That's what trading is. So are you willing to take the risk? So that's basically all I could give you there on Meta. You either take it off the channel low, expecting that the Nasdaq ES hold up, or you pass on it, and maybe you miss out, right? Maybe you miss out. So that's Meta. Some stuff that also looks that way, Shopify. Same exact type of trade. You take Shopify because you think the Nasdaq ES are going to hold these levels. If they do, you're going to get in shop at a fantastic level down here, right? So Shopify in a demand. You guys can see support, 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 support. Guys, I do this SPY every single morning. I'm going to eat my mic for this one. The ES is the exact same thing as the SPY. Okay? They are the exact same thing. The levels are just smaller, but if you look at the technicals that I do on the ES, they are the exact same thing as the SPY. Okay? Just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. If you want to see the ES levels that I do, you have to come here in the morning for the live stream. If you miss it, then you have to rewind this live stream and you have to go back to the beginning of the live stream. Okay? All right. Shopify. Support, 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 support. All this support, all this demand around this $32 to $30 level. It has to hold here. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my voice there. Shopify. Talk to me. Google. All right. Google. All this support here on Google and all this potential support down below. Oh, that's good. I like to have fun sometimes. All right, so watch Google at this 106. That's what I'd be watching. Boom, 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 boom. So it's not quite there. It's not quite there. That's my only concern on Google, right? It's not quite there, which is a little strange. I would have rather, if Google was trading at 106 today, I'd be pretty bullish on it actually, because I know Google is a good stock, right? And I know that Google is going to react to technical levels. So we'll see. I guess it depends on the overall market, but 106, if you see Google trading at 106, this is definitely an area to monitor Google for upside. I'm just sort of, I know I've been sort of annoying you guys probably with, the channel levels on the channel stocks, but I know there's going to be opportunity out of here. So I want to remind everyone on a daily basis. So Meta, Google, and Shopify, there absolutely could be opportunity within these channel lows. So just watch out for that. All right, XLE. So XLE has been the hot thing, of course, for a long time. Just know that Saprit Wahi, I'm not even sure how to say that, but that's Sierra Whiskey. Is that your name, Sierra? That's he's joking. He trades futures and he knows what the Nasdaq and ES are. So rejection into double bottom support. And here your XLE is a potential retest on the XLE, right? Potential rejection, or you have rejection, all the support here, and you're coming down to retest that 79, 78 level. So watch out for that, right? That's very important. Big level here on the XLE. Obviously, XLE has been strong. I've said this, I said this back in July. I said this back in June. I said if you get a pullback on the strongest sector on the market, it should always be looked at in some extent as a opportunity. So you've gotten a pullback here on energy. It was an opportunity. You got a pullback here on energy. It was an opportunity. You got a pullback coming in now on energy. Is it another opportunity, right? Energy is hot. Obviously, if you guys trade energy, you should be much more dialed in to the overall macroeconomic picture of it. I'm not. I'll say that straight up. I am not dialed into the macro side of energy. So if you are going to trade XLE, if you're going to trade the CL, if you're going to trade XOM, CVX, Oxy, you need to be aware of upcoming oil events. You need to be aware of upcoming energy news. That's something you have to know before you get into these trades. So I'm just here to share the technicals with you. What I'll show you is that there is a potential retest of 78, 79. Now, I have no idea if, next week there's an event that happens where OPEC says, there will be a supply increase. And if that happens, you're going to get this, right? You're going to go straight down. So I'm not sure about that side of things. I'm just here to share with you the technicals. 78, 79, that's your retest level. That has to hold, okay? XOM, pulling back. CVX, back to this retest level at 155. Oxy, sort of pulling back below all-time highs, or at least this previous high, okay? Last but not least, I want to show you guys energy sector. Paul, thanks, Paul, for $5. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. What does that say? What's that little fox say? I can't read it. Oh, my goodness. I guess I have to work for the money. SPY it is. I just hope you know, Paul, that the SPY is the exact same thing as the ES. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. I mean, I'm not going to do the SPY every day, so please do not come here every day asking for the SPY unless you want to send me $5 every day. The SPY and the ES are the exact same thing. It's the exact same level. 391, 390, 39, 391, the exact same level as the ES. If I look at the SPY and I look at the ES, you can see that they are identical. Rejection, 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 support, support. Rejection, 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 support, support. Paul, I would recommend to watch the ES over the SPY. Can I lay over the charts? I absolutely can. Compare with Custom symbol. ES. Make that a candle. Make it white. Make it candle. Say okay. I mean, it's literally identical, guys. Please understand. Look. ES and the SPY are the same exact thing. Look at the ES. Read the actual futures contract. Don't watch the ETF for your technicals. All right. Let's move on. XLV. So, XLV. You broke under a huge rejection point. So you have a huge breakdown on the XLV here. This is a previous demand that you have broken down, right? You guys can see right there, big break on the XLV. AbbVie, you can see is breaking down. UNH is pulling back. So I'd watch out for downside I would watch for downside on the healthcare sector. As long as the XLV is below that major demand, you can see right here, it has broken below it. If we go to the 1 hour chart, you can see we broke it. So watch out for energy, or watch out for healthcare to the downside. All right, let's go over some of the stocks that you guys want to look at today. Let's pull up the form and see what you guys got in there. If SPY's in there, I'm closing the stream down right now. Okay, it's not. DG, PANW, PDD, AVGO, and Lulu. Lulu has earnings. Gone. You know what? I'll look at Lulu because I like Lulu. But I'm going to tell you that nothing I say is going to be valid. I'll just tell you that right now. All right? Dollar General. Yeah, we can take a look at Snow. All right, so DG, this is a great rejection. It's looking like a nice rejection here. So you guys can see previous demand around this 240, previous rejection into demand. If I go to the 4 hour chart, look at what's starting to do. Look at DG. You can see previous rejection into support. You broke it. You're turning it into a rejection, right? Break and retest rejection. Watch out for that. If you stay below 240, I would look for downside on DG. That's actually a very good risk to reward there. PANW. PANW is it's getting close to that gap fill. I mean, this is definitely starting to look like what it's. I mean, yeah, I think I might. This is looking almost inevitable right now. But you can see, look at what it's done here. Look at what it's done here. Look at what it's done here. After it sort of congests itself for a little bit, look at what it's starting to do again. You can see 5-6 days of congestion here at 570. Gap fill is totally possible, maybe down to 530, 515. I would definitely be watching that. I think you probably need to break this 550 level before anything starts to get going. 548, 550. That's what I'd be watching. 548, 550. If PANW breaks that, look at the daily chart. Look at what it's done every single time it pushes, every single time it comes into this 570 area. Look at the rejection that's sort of come in here. All this rejection. And look at the downside. Possible gap fill down to 530, down to 515. All right. PDD. I know it's a stock that's been going pretty crazy to the upside lately. I think based off earnings, I would just watch out for this. This is a huge level on PDD. You can see right here, 75, big level there. It's also here, big level. It's rejected it here, right? Rejection. It sort of rejected it here. Didn't quite get to it, but it rejected close. And you can see this time it's pushing in with pretty nice strength this time. So if you're going to trade PDD to the upside, it's very easy. You wait for the breakout, you wait for the retest, and you play it off the retest. You don't need to be the first one in this. You don't need to feel like you're FOMO. You don't need to be in PDD under supply, because if you buy PDD under supply and it does this, hold on. If you buy PDD under supply and it does this, you're not going to be very happy. Okay? So wait for it to break supply. Wait for supply to turn into a demand. Then you go long. AVGO. You are at this major area again. Yeah, you bounced off it previously, but you didn't quite get going there. So previous rejection, previous rejection, previous rejection into support. This has to hold. 490. 490, 480. Must hold level here. You have to hold that level. If you lose that level, you're moving down maybe to these wick lows, maybe to around 440. So yeah, 490, 480, big level to watch. Last but not least, let's look at Snow. Snow broke the 180. Right? You broke the 180 that we needed to break. Nice breakdown in the pre-market today. Next level to watch right here, guys, 176. You can see it starting to hold it a little bit. Next level after that is around this 171. And then you got your gap fill. I would probably be a little bit careful continuing to try to trade this gap fill. It's been, someone does it every time. Someone does it every time. I didn't even realize AVGO had earnings. Someone does it every single time. They just wait. They just want to see the earnings plays for whatever reason. Probably because they're buying calls for no reason. But you guys can see 180 previous rejection. You know, you broke it down today. There's a gap there, but if you actually have watched Snow's price action intraday, it's a disaster. It really does suck. It has made me not want to trade it. It breaks down, it then holds randomly. You know, it broke down and held randomly. It looks like it just breaks down every morning. So if you want to try to trade it again straight down in the morning, maybe you look for that, but I would not marry it because after it breaks down, it sort of holds up. All right. Last but not least, I'll do Lulu. It has earnings. Everything I'm about to say is not relevant. Everything that I'm about to say should not be traded off of. It's all irrelevant. I'm just going to say that because you have earnings. But someone wants to look at it, so we're going to look at it. Lulu has earnings today. Yeah, I actually can't look at this. There's nothing here. All right. Lulu has earnings today. Congratulations. That's what you get. No idea. Absolutely no clue. I mean, I can't say something that I have no idea what's going to happen. All right. That's all I got, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope everyone learned that the ES is the same thing as the SPY. I hope that you guys start to watch the ES over the SPY. It's a much better chart to be watching for analysis on the overall market. That is what I would be looking at. I would stop trying to watch the SPY. You could trade the SPY, but the ES is probably you probably want to read your levels out on the ES. Personal opinion, maybe not, but that's what I would recommend. So, thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed the stream again. Press that like button before you head out. One time we'll get 1,000 likes. Can we get 1,000 likes today? We need about 400 more maybe. Can we get 1,000? All right. Have a great day. Remember, the market is closed Monday, so we will not have a stream on Monday. Just remember that. Tomorrow will be the last day of the stream. Monday, we should all be out doing something fun, getting our minds off the market, out enjoying ourselves. Nice, necessary 3-day weekend. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.